Hello everybody, this is Jeffrey GT7 and welcome to the episode. In this episode is going to be yet another great combo build to be used for Expressway 600. The first car I'm going to be using is a new updated build using the Honda NSX'17 car. I'll show you guys my particular build and livery for this car. And after we get done with this car, we're going to switch gears and use a returning favorite, the Audi Quartto Gr.B rally car. Another great car to use for both at Expressway and the mall. So I'll be showcasing both cars and showing you guys my particular builds in step-by-step process and guides at Expressway as well. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So step one, for the Honda NSX, you can actually win this car for free in the roulette mini game, which is pretty random, but it'll always be here at Brand Central, costing you about 230,000 credits. And you can see we can actually throw in a couple upgrades for this car until it reaches 600. After you get the car, the first step we're going to do is going to go ahead and add that wide body adjustment to the car itself. Now, I personally have went ahead and made a livery for you guys. So if you guys want to go ahead, pause the episode and search up this livery just to make your life a little bit easier and would like to basically copycat this path forward, you can. Now, let's say if you rather have the parts and not the livery, here are the parts below. I would just say just go ahead and just pause the episode and make sure you have each correct part on the car. If you don't, it will mess up the setup. But thankfully, the setup should be pretty easy to install, especially for the custom parts from car customization. Now let's move forward to the build itself. Here's a look at the build, and we got some hard tires, and basically everything else is normal except for the racing transmission and for downforce. Make sure the downforce and numbers do match up. If they do not match up to what I have, it won't do it right. It'll be messed up. So make sure you just follow those downforce numbers. Here's the other part of the list. If you like to as well, pause the episode and just copy what I got on my list, you can. And that's going to be it for this build for Expressway 600. And the question is, well, how good is this car with all the different parts, downforce, all that stuff? Well, that's a good question. The Honda NSX is one of those cars you can actually rely on when it comes to this track, and this car actually feels pretty good. It's got really good speed. Matter of fact, you should be the fastest car on track when it comes to top speed. The handling also feels pretty good on the car and very smooth traction control. Has some good grip on the rear of the car as well. And the acceleration is also another important aspect to the car as well. I would say the only negative thing about this car is you'll have to adjust your fuel mode in order for you to actually stretch out your fuel mileage, but that's practically it for the cons. So there's a lot of good things about this car that really helps it a lot when it comes to the Tokyo 600 race. As you can see, we're actually catching up with the train in front of us. Starting off with the red GTR, we're going to get ourselves a nice run into this overpass right here as we close the gap between ourselves and the GTR. Get ourselves a nice run. Also make a move on its right side. We're going to barely get right beside it. Thankfully, we got ourselves cleared, and we can now focus on the old generation Impreza, the old gen Supra, and of course the RX-7 rear mirror, leaving us with the other Honda NSX to worry about, which is the leader. So we've actually have been going up toward the front at a pretty nice pace overall, since we find ourselves flirting with the top two pretty easily in this race. Got ourselves such a good run out of this corner. We're going to get ourselves squeezed between ourselves and the rear mirror, hit the guardrail. We're going to actually brake right there, and we're going to let these guys battle it out. The Supra again just brakes too late, goes off wide. That corner, we get a good bit of traction at that last corner and basically get ourselves P2. This car is really good at that right head hairpin. It might be a little bit on the oversteer side, so just keep that in mind that it might want to enter drift mode whenever you want to get to that turn. But other than that, if you do ace that corner, the car has a really good launch coming out of the corner. Fast forward to about the halfway mark of lap 2, we have found ourselves right behind the clutches of the race leader. Going to get ourselves a really good momentum. We're going to really put it through the hole right there, let it stick. We're going to make a little bit of contact right there on the wall, but we thankfully keep off the wall, get ourselves up lead, and fast forward to our pit cycle. We're going to start lap 7. We're going to go ahead and go into overdrive on fuel mode saving to map 6, and thankfully we're not going to change any of our driving behavior. We're going to keep it there until we know we're close enough to the pit road entrance. Go back to number 1 and go to pit road to get our service, and all I'll be doing here is going to just basically get ourselves a refuel on the fuel itself, and that's going to be pretty much it for our pit stop. Now we will lose the lead to the RX-7 rear mirror once we do get out of the pits, but before it makes its pit stop on lap 8, we will actually be able to catch it down and retake the lead before it makes its scheduled pit stop. So that goes to show you how good this car is at this track. So fast forward now to later in the race. It is literally after our hot lap into lap 9. It's going to be our official hot lap through this track, so I really recommend you guys watching this hot lap, and then I'll see you guys when we get to the end of the race. So as we finish up the race, a very smooth car overall. We're going to do ourselves a solid 26.14, which is about 6 seconds faster than the last time I actually did a video on this car. So I figured a pretty nice, decent pickup compared to last build. There's the rest of the stats, 26.14 for our total time. We managed to hit a 2:06 for a hot lap on lap number 9. Got ourselves that clearance bonus despite making contact between the rear mirror and the guardrail, and that's going to be it for race number 1. Moving to race number 2, here is the legendary Gr.B Gallardo Audi rally car. It's going to cost you about 1.8 mil just to get the car, so I would suggest just farm at Le Mans a couple times and you should be able to get the car. But trust me, this car is going to be a great car to use for both tracks. So after we do get the car, here is the livery I'll be using for this particular race. Now, I don't think the livery does matter for this car, but if it does, I would suggest you just find you some rims that will give you a guaranteed of less than 600 pp before you actually do the race itself. So there's the livery. If you want to copy the hashtag, you're more welcome to add to your collection or just use it. So here's a quick look at the list itself, and I will go ahead and just recommend just pausing the episode because this is more of a technical build with this car, but overall it's pretty simple and easy. Just make sure you just have the right numbers on suspension and for downforce. That's mainly the crucial parts of the build. Plus is the transmission, and make sure your power restrictor is at the 70 overall. Now here's a quick look gander at the transmission if you're curious to see what it is. I'm pretty sure I didn't mess anything with it, but if you want to just check for yourself, make sure everything doesn't matter of fact line up, you can. And here's the other part, the last part of the list, which is the medium RPM turbocharger and steering angle adapter, and that's it for the build. So this Audi Quartto Gr.B rally car, the main objective for this particular car is we're going to attempt to do a no stop run. Now it is possible to do this with this car because during the race I could tell that my fuel was actually matching up to the almost at the end of the race. It could be a little bit difficult, but as long as you basically can shift your gears prematurely early compared to your usual shift into the gearing, that's going to help you a lot. Or you can always choose the easy option and just adjust your free map setting to at least, if you're planning on doing it from start to finish, I think map 3 should do the trick, or 4, or possibly 2 if you're careful with your shifting. But for right now, we're more focused on getting to the front as soon as possible. And I can already tell this car, the handling was really good on the car. You might have an occurrence of maybe having the front car where it actually might be a little bit on the understeer side. So what I mainly try to do was make sure that the rear of the car will be a little bit on the oversteer side, but not too much, but just make sure it was enough to where the car feels like it's gliding from side to side to pretty much counter attack the understeer on the front of the car. And as you can see, it actually is paying off very nicely, as we have actually are caught up with the race leader, and we can just see her clear as day the HUD, even though we actually did lose a bit of time there in that corner. But seeing that we're practically close to the race leader at the end of the first lap is really good signs for us in this run. So as we head to this right-hand hairpin, just like it was with the NSX, you gotta be pretty careful with this car, because apparently this is maybe the spot where you will really can tell the huge difference of the understeer. So just make sure you get yourself a good arc out of that corner. Make sure you keep the car straight, get a good angle. I would suggest be at least gear 2 or gear 3 around that corner. And as you can see, we're going to get ourselves a nice run on the Honda, almost actually matching the lap time, but we're going to be a couple tenths off. As we try to attempt to make a move on the Honda, we can't quite do it just yet. We don't have quite the horsepower to do it, so we actually have to rely on the slipstream for right now. But I do know the car is going to really come to play, since the track is of course drying off, and with the downforce and with the handling of this car, feeling pretty good for it to be a Gr.B. I know for sure that we have ourselves a really good shot of taking this race lead pretty early into lap 2. So as you can see, we messed up that particular apex, but there's really no need to sweat about it, because as we get down to the overpass, we're going to get ourselves a nice turn on the left side of the road, get some good grip, as you can see, back on the gas pretty early, and then we're going to send it in this corner, and it actually does stick to that corner, and we make the pass work. And from that point on, we flew away from the rest of the pack. So fast forward to lap 4, it's going to be our official hot lap, and as you can see, the race pace very good. We hit a couple of 206s right from the start. So I'm going to let you guys watch this clip, and then I'll see you guys when we get to phase 2 of the run. Alright, so as we start lap 11, this was actually the time I actually went ahead and went into fuel saving mode. Now actually, there is a certain pattern I started to work with this car to actually save some fuel. And the main thing you probably could tell is we actually, in some of these corners, we actually kept that car mainly in 4th gear. That's going to be your best friend, but as you can see, as we're about to wrap up lap 11 to lap 12, we are going to go ahead and adjust our fuel map setting to at least a safe number 4 as we exit out this right-hand hairpin. And the cool thing about this car is that once you actually do take care of it and don't stress the tires or anything like that, the car actually does feel pretty nice and smooth to drive. So as you can see, we're going to go ahead and adjust our fuel map setting in just a second, and just to try our best to really stretch out that fuel and just try to make it is the main goal in the last lap. So we're doing okay-ish, even though I kind of wish we were in better shape. But we actually are going to be on map 4, and then once we actually do hit the exit ramp, we're going to go to map 6, find ourselves into extreme fuel map saving procedures. As we head to the hairpin one last time, we have caught up with the GTR, about to put it a lap down, which is actually pretty cool considering we almost put the whole field a lap down with this car. Get ourselves a decently good run, and then since we got blue flags on, the GTR is going to allow us stuff to slow down enough for us to pass it. And thankfully, since we started saving our fuel, I think it was about lap 9, lap 10, just keeping that gear 4, especially in the corners, not really revving the car too much and just short shifting. We actually coasted almost at the line and got ourselves that race win by a huge margin. Like I said, almost put the whole entire field a lap down almost. 204 is what we did in lap 4 with a very impressive 25-17 overall. I know there's a couple cars out there that can easily beat that, but for this car, I thought it was a pretty nice run overall for this car especially. And like I said before, if these two cars do not work out for you in this particular race, then I would highly suggest saving them for Le Mans. Got ourselves that standard bonus for this race, and that's going to be it for this episode. So here's the next preview. It's going to be using the Mazda RX-7 with the 778B swap. And I actually might use this car for both Tokyo and Le Mans, so that's going to be next for the episode. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, why not go ahead and leave a like. If you'd like to see my content later down the road, why not hit that subscribe button. There is the last episode. You want to check that out too if you want to. And if you have any other builds, you're more welcome to put them in the comments below. And with that being said, hopefully you guys have a great rest of the day or night. And I'll see you guys later, and take care.